chases him down. It's going to be a Brentford free kick, 5 yards shy of the halfway line, right of centre. Getting another look at that moment of madness from David Raya, which led to the chance. What a beautiful cross by Jensen. An in-swinger, and Thiago powers it. In fact, it's not quite as close to the corner as we initially thought. Still a good reaction save from Raya. Still fantastic contact on the header.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's not as in the corner as what I thought, but I do believe 16, 17, 18 goalkeepers in this league, that beats them. It's a brilliant, brilliant save.
The best of the best, David Raya. 13 clean sheets in the Premier League this season. 4 more than the next highest. Brentford take a free kick diagonally towards Thiago, backs in against Gabriel. Ajer prods it back to Jensen, space in the penalty area. Jensen doesn't find it. Ajer tries to head it back across. Mosquera sent him spinning to the deck. Arsenal looks slightly rattled here as Eze has to clear away in a hurry. Gyökeres can't control, and would you believe it, it's the 7th place Brentford that are on top against Arsenal, who have had a spell of defending for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're getting ahead of steam now, Brentford, and they'll want to score whilst they're having this moment, because they know that this moment's not going to last for 15, 20 minutes. Arsenal are going to find their way back into it. They'll find a way to slow down the game and keep possession. Whilst you're on top now, try and carve out that chance where you can get the lead.
Well, they announced themselves in the Premier League by beating one of the big boys, Arsenal, in fact, in their very first Premier League game. 2-0 they won back in August of 2021, and they've really had a proud history of beating the big boys here. United fell 4-0, Manchester City in 2023, 2-1 when they were virtually invincible. Liverpool, January 2023, Liverpool here in October, 3-2. Looking for another one of those famous nights in West London. Club writing its modern history every single game. Mentioned it ahead of kickoff, spent most of their history in the 3rd tier, Brentford, defending for them to do here, which they do well through Yarmolenko. Rolled sideways to Jensen, runners ahead of him, takes too long on the ball, then finds Coyote, who collects infield passing Capier. Lovely touch passing Capier, finds Keane Lewis Potter in space, he goes round Gabriel. Chip to Ouattara, drops the shoulder on Declan Rice, right wing, has to try and find a delivery, tries to nutmeg Declan Rice, gets it wrong, and Rice, so cool in those situations, brings it away.
Really good defending. He uses his body ever so well, the athleticism he has.
Trossard, though, gives it right back to Brentford. Sorry, Hogan, and here's Yarmolenko. Back on the halfway line to Christopher Ajer. Well, Brentford at the side, looking composed. Arsenal haven't been able to keep the ball for a good 6-minute spell here, and it's reflected in the noise you're hearing bellowing out around us at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Rainy night, Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. This is Premier League Live with Matt Drabble and Hogan Ephraim. Yarmolenko goes home to Kelleher, luminous green goalkeeper shirt and white boots. He dribbles towards the edge of his 18-yard box and waves his hand, looking for movement from those ahead of him. Line breaking pass to Janel, springing Brentford forward, pokes it between the legs of Madueke. Carries over halfway, he's powering forward, the young German. Options ahead of him, finds Jensen in space, trying to lose Declan Rice 20 yards from goal. Yarmolenko. Coyote now 25 yards out. Ouattara on the right flank. Crosses in towards Thiago, cleared away in the 6-yard box by Zubamendi, and Declan Rice has to hoof it long. A player normally so cool, feeling the pressure himself.
Yeah, that's some delivery, that from Ouattara. That lands exactly where you'd want it to land when you're crossing the ball. In the middle of the 6-yard box, ready for a tap-in. Brilliant delivery.
I'd go as far as saying, bar Aston Villa, this is the most under pressure and rattled and the toughest opponent in this version of Brentford we're seeing right now that Arsenal have faced this season. Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup or otherwise.
I absolutely agree with you. I think, look, we're approaching the 28th minute now. Arsenal have had one touch in the opposition box. That's the Gabriel header from the corner. Other than that, they've not touched the ball in Brentford's box. They've been so bad going forward, but we do know that as long as they can stay in the game, they are the masters at finding a way.
Gabriel, again, it's just a hopeful lump long, and Brentford will sweep that up all day long. They are having their moment, but I suppose the key, Hogan, in all these games, you've got to score in your moment, because like you said, it's not going to last forever.
No, you just look at some of the names on the bench: Saka, Odegaard, Jesus, Martinelli. If it's 0-0, Arsenal will make changes. I don't think Mikel Arteta will just settle for the point, even though it wouldn't be a bad one in my opinion. So they will have their moments, Arsenal, so you have to take advantage.
Kelleher rolled to the right for Jensen. Zubimendi following him. Jensen's having a really good game for Brentford. It's down the right wing to Atara, back heel to Thiago. They're playing slick football, the Bees, on home soil. Thiago is looking for Coyote. It rolls through to Aya. Well, Jensen's always felt, for me, a player that tends to turn up at the big games but has struggled to fully fulfil his potential. He's normally the scourge of Manchester United of all teams, but he's certainly playing his part tonight.
Yeah, so far he's been the best player on the pitch by a mile. He's been fantastic.
Here is Vitaly Janelt again. The stand-up player against Newcastle for Brentford was the German 27-year-old. Turning is Keane Lewis Potter. Jensen runs into a pocket of space. Keane Lewis Potter instead fizzes it into Atara, looking for shooting room. Seemed to be tripped by Eze, not given. Arsenal will break. Madueke off and running. Gyökeres and Madueke in behind for Arsenal. Is this their moment? Gyökeres right wing, chipped back towards Madueke. Blocked by Christopher Aya and cleared by Coyote. Arsenal on the counter-attack, but here comes Yarmouk, tripped by Victor Gyökeres. And there's going to be a free kick for Brentford and a yellow card for the Arsenal forward.
Yeah, and with all due respect to Madueke and Gyökeres, they're not the two Arsenal players you'd want going through there. It just didn't look right, it didn't look comfortable. You just had to picture if that was a Saka or a Trossard or an Eze and Odegaard, it would have been so much different.
And for a start, Hogan, they both made exactly the same run. Right of centre, running parallel with one another. They made it quite easy for the covering Brentford defenders to close down the space there.
Absolutely, they do the same run and then the same poor pass as well. Terrible pass from Madueke behind Gyökeres, and then he's tried to dink one over the top, which was equally as bad.
Kelleher goes long. Brentford never afraid to do that. Mosquera wins the first header. Thiago is giving him nightmares, Mosquera, and so too Hincapié, who goes down and gets a fortunate free kick. Well, he picked up the ball there, Hincapié, in anticipation of a foul being given. John Brooks took his time, as did the assistant Stephen Meredith, and eventually I think they've decided we've either got to give a yellow card for Hincapié or an Arsenal free kick. They give an Arsenal free kick.
Yeah, look, there might just be a little bit. There is enough in that for a free kick to be given to Arsenal, but I think when someone goes down so theatrically and just grabs hold of the ball, I'd like to see referees not give it.
Down the line goes Gyökeres. That's a good run from the Swede. He's holding off Aya. He's got the pace to beat Aya to the byline. Aya recovers. Kelleher pumps it into his own defender and out of play for an Arsenal corner kick. I suppose that was alarm bells ringing. It's what he had to do, the Irish keeper, but it's a bit messy. He just fizzed it off the shins of Christopher Aya, and it's gone a corner kick's better than anything else they could come up with here. Yeah,
good initial play from Gyökeres. Aya actually defends it really well. Just thought Kelleher could have picked it up. It wasn't a pass. I think he could have picked it up. Just smashes it against Aya, and this would be so Arsenal-like, under the cost for 32 minutes. Go up the other end of a corner and nick the lead, so Brentford have to be switched on here.
A nervous hush has fallen around the GTEC Community Stadium of anticipation of another classic Arsenal moment. As Hogan has rightfully said, they've been under the cosh, they've been struggling, but how many times have we seen them break that rut with a set piece? In-swinging Declan Rice corner from the left, deep into the 6-yard box, another good defensive header by Van den Berg. He's done 3 of them already tonight, and Ouattara has been brought down trying to counter by Eze, and Brentford want another yellow card to Arsenal, who already have 2.
Well, look, if it's a foul, it's a yellow card. It's that simple. There can't be one without the other. He's running away. It doesn't really look like a foul, but if you're going to give it, it would have to be a yellow. I don't think he's seen what's happened, the referee. I think he's just seen Ouattara go down, and that's why he's given it. I don't think there was a foul from Eze.
Eze is pretty unfortunate there. For a start, Ouattara is never getting to the clearance, and secondly, there's the most minimal of contact on Ouattara's arm from Eze. It was Brentford's turn to go down theatrically that time, and they were fortunate to get a free kick for that and avoid another wave of Arsenal attack. It is Jurrien Timber standing over the throw for the Gunners. 33 minutes gone. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. This is Premier League Live, and this is a fascinating watch at the GTEC thus far. A real test of Mikel Arteta's mettle at the moment. Jurrien Timber sneaking past Janelt, breaking over the halfway line right of centre. Guided ball across the middle to Leandro Trossard. Hincapié breaks down the line. Trossard instead stands on the ball, goes sideways to Declan Rice, who rolls it through the thirds to Jurrien Timber. Up the line on the right flank for Noni Madueke, in line with the edge of the 18-yard box, the former Chelsea winger. Now dinks in a left-footed cross. Trossard waiting. And away by Coyote, but not the most convincing clearance from him or Rico Henry. Dive from Keane Lewis Potter, which has sold the referee hook, line and sinker, and it's going to be a Brentford free kick. And Keane Lewis Potter, well, it's not the Summer Olympics, it's the Winter Olympics. Keane Lewis Potter, no diving this time of year, flops to the floor, lucky to get that free kick.
Yeah, very lucky. But Madueke was silly putting his hands up, but again, if I'm the referee, I'd like to see him not give that. He just encourage players to stop going down so easily.
So Kelleher to take the goal kick for the Bees, 5 yards from the left edge of the penalty area for Brentford, moving from left to right up the pitch. Deep it goes towards Thiago, cleared away by Gabriel. Rice helps it forward. Ouattara flick onto the right for Keane Lewis Potter. It's a jump with Eza and Janelt in the middle, which the Bees come off the better from. Nodded forward again by Thiago, aimed for Ouattara. Raya can gobble that flick on up. And will just take his time before distributing this one. Did of course play for Brentford for many a year. David Raya, standout goalkeeper for them before he's just gone to another level at Arsenal. 54 clean sheets for the Bees in 161 appearances. Now at the feet of David Raya again, edge of the 6-yard box. Declan Rice involvement is growing. That's normally a good sign for Arsenal. He's beginning the freedom of the G-Tech. He keeps on coming forward. 40 yards he's run unchecked. Now Hincapié given another 20 yards of space left wing. Crossed into the penalty area. Gyökeres rising. Vandenberg flicks it away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Right wing is Yuri and Timber. Mosquera, right of centre, rolled past Jensen. Timber on the right wing, back to Mosquera. 10 to go till half-time. Zubimendi will have to go all the way home because Brentford have started to squeeze the space backwards for Arsenal. Hincapié, though, could turn on halfway, and again, there's no pressure on the ball from Brentford. He's carried it 30 yards, Hincapié. Eza's been quiet, pocket of space for him in front of Janelt. Janelt drops the shoulder into him. Eza rides the challenge and goes right of centre. Early cross by Timber, brilliant area. Runs all the way through to Trossard by the left corner flag. Back to Hincapié, space for Rice in the 18-yard box. Instead it's backwards to Gabriel joining in from centre-back. Trossard, still on the left edge of the penalty area. Gabriel, left-footed cross, first time. Madueke's headed down, blocked in front of goal. Madueke crosses again to the penalty spot. This time Janelt brings it away and Brentford will counter, and Ouattara can fly. He's running with Gabriel. Gabriel will try and head this back to Raya. Coolly done, claimed by Raya. Arsenal on the move again.
Yeah, I'd just like to see Brentford have a little spell where Ouattara would really hold wide, keep Hincapié out there, and let Thiago just exploit that channel with Gabriel on a yellow card. We know how Gabriel likes to battle for every single ball he can, and I just think that could be a little area of dread that Brentford could have.
Well, call it fatigue, but Brentford are starting to give an awful lot more respect to Arsenal in midfield areas. Madueke running at Henry. Henry still holding fast, standing firm, forces Madueke backwards. Declan Rice down the line to Yuri and Timber. Drags back to Rice. Madueke on the right flank, thought about a left-footed cross, delays. He wants to beat Henry so badly, does Madueke. Takes him on, inside then out. It's a great run, goes down, looking for a penalty. What does John Brooks say? No for now. We'll see if VAR have a look at it. Madueke was certain, but so was John Brooks in saying no penalty.
Yeah, my initial thoughts was no penalty, just seeing a replay now. Never, ever, ever. I think he was running out of trouble, he was on his weaker right foot. Look, at the end of the day, the legs will end up touching, and he actually throws his right leg onto Rico Henry.
Something we're seeing more of, that Hogan. We did a game together not too long ago. It's escaped my mind which game it was, but a player jumping sideways into a tackle to draw contact, manipulating their body quite acrobatically, so it looks like on a super slow-mo replay, which is how VAR will look at it, it's a clip then a fall. 100%. But actually it's the way they've manipulated their hips and their body in the air. And the referees, I think, at VAR should probably introduce replays at full speed to avoid that sort of thing being picked up.
Absolutely. I also think they should be able to introduce that if it is a dive, then it should be a yellow card, because he's tried to con the referee there, Madueke. He was just running out of space, he didn't fancy himself in his weaker foot, and he tried the easy way out to try and get a penalty. It's good defending by Rico Henry.
There was another one-on-one battle between Madueke and Henry, this time on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Madueke turned and turned again and turned again and turned again and burst down the right-hand side of the box, but Henry stood firm, tracked him every step of the way, and when Madueke ran out of room, he threw himself to the ground by the byline. No penalty given. Arsenal shifting into gear now, though, with Declan Rice, but Thiago comes back to take it off Rice, and Hincapie's fouled him, and Brentford have a free kick, and that is the side fighting tooth and nail for their manager. The centre forward Thiago, about 20 yards from his own goal, making a challenge when Declan Rice was shaping to shoot.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm making too much of it, but Madueke gave away the foul on Keane Lewis Potter. Now Hincapie there. Their reaction straight away is like they're devastated that 39 minutes are gone and they haven't got the breakthrough and they're fuming. I just think they've got to stay cool, Arsenal. I think there's more than enough time in this game. There's 50 minutes still to play. You've got some of the best players in the league on the bench as well.
Arsenal seem wrapped in this almost continuous psychodrama at times, which doesn't serve them well. The squad, best in the league, set pieces, best in Europe. They are a magnificent team by every single category. If there's one thing that perhaps is holding them back, it is that sheer weight of emotion the side seems to be carrying on their shoulders, and it comes from Mikel Arteta and it bleeds down to the pitch, and it looked for large parts of this season they've stemmed that tide. But once more, they're wrapped up in emotion again with 5 to go till half-time.
Yeah, and that can just drain you so much physically and mentally, honestly. They play every minute of every game like the world depends on it. When the final whistle goes or when they get a one-goal lead, they celebrate like the weight of the world's off their shoulders. They just have to relax and be calm.
Eze, right wing, into Madueke, back to Eze. Arsenal on it again with their number 10, their shiny new number 10 in the summer that hasn't started for 9 games in this recent run, but he's beat Jan out there. And back heel to Madueke. Timber turning in a midfield position, drops the shoulder on Keane Lewis Potter, spinning back to the right flank. Madueke down the line to Zubamendi. They're all swapping positions at the moment, but they've gone backwards to Mosquera. Brentford look a bit leggy. They've put a lot into this first half, and the spaces are opening up for the Gunners. Timber's found some here. Madueke's in behind against Henry, running at Henry one-on-one. Back to Urian Timber, right corner of the penalty area, just 25 yards from goal now. Madueke booed again for his earlier dive, sneaks past Henry, crosses into Hincapie. Van den Berg, his head's a magnet today. Sepp Van den Berg. Declan Rice keeps it alive with a volleyed pass out to Trossard. Down the line, Hincapie across the face of goal. Missed by Coyote. Cleared though by Vitaly Janelt. Brentford will scamper up the right wing with Dango Ouattara. Trossard tries to force him out of play. Ouattara's too quick, too strong, but runs out of room ultimately. Yeah, the technique, the arrogance, the confidence from Declan Rice on the half volley to just shape it up and slice it down into the pass of Trossard. Fantastic from him. Well, the first 35 minutes belong to Brentford, the last 6 very much Arsenal's. Here's Declan Rice hesitating, powering into the penalty area. Trossard, 12 yards from the byline, goes back into the middle of the park for the centre-back Gabriel. They're flooding blue away shirts forward are Arsenal. Leandro Trossard, trapped by Coyote, holds him off. Fantastic strength from the diminutive Belgian. They really are knocking on the door now. This is the response we expected. This is the response that seemed inevitable to Brentford's perceived dominance. Mosquera, Madueke back to goal, again met by boos. Could quieten them down if Arsenal find a go-ahead goal here. Manny Madueke, this time to run at Keane Lewis Potter, might find more change out of him. Breaks into the penalty area, lifts in the cross. Here's Hincapie, loose in front of goal, but there's Sepp Van den Berg again, back in from Eze. Trossard backing in, volleyed to Declan Rice 30 yards out. Arsenal keep it moving with Zubamendi, and on halfway is Gabriel. But can Brentford get to half-time? That must be the goal now, because it's all Arsenal here on Premier League Live. Leandro Trossard into the penalty area. Gyökeres trying to turn. Jensen brings it away. Brentford will counter. Igor Thiago. Ouattara's in a foot race. It's over the top. Here comes Dango Ouattara. Raya out his goal. Has to clear in a hurry.
Yeah, brilliant play all round. Brilliant play all round. First of all, Brentford being composed and playing their way out. Thiago's centre forward play, brushing off Gabriel. The pass is lovely. He just sees Ouattara in a foot race with Zubamendi, and he just knows he'll get there first, but Raya's so alert to it.
I don't know how much Sepp van der Berg is on, but he is earning it tonight for the Bees. He has headed away 4 or 5 deliveries which were destined for an Arsenal tap-in or an Arsenal easy nod home in the 6-yard box. And I'll tell you who Arsenal look like they're missing: Mikel Merino, who will out-jump just about anyone in a penalty area. Instead, Sepp van der Berg's won everything that's gone into their 18-yard box. Long throw by Coyote. Ayer nods it on, volley downwards by Keane Lewis Potter. And he's got it all wrong. That was a chance, if only a half chance. The long throw from Coyote, headed on at the near post by Ayer, found Keane Lewis Potter about 8 yards from goal, left-hand side of the penalty area, a side-footed volley, hopelessly wide.
Yeah, I actually think it's a decent chance that. I know it's not the easiest, but on this sort of surface, if you can just get over that and kick it into the ground, you have a massive chance. They're getting onto second balls from these long throw-ins and they're making it ugly, but they are keeping it alive.
So it's going to be an Arsenal goal kick. David Raya is going to take it. 30 seconds left to play in normal time at the end of a fascinating first half. It's 0-0, but make no mistake, this has been a stupendous watch, and we are loving every second of it. Up in the air, Keane Lewis Potter drops the shoulder in on Jurrien Timber. Rice volleys forward. Sepp van der Berg sends it back to where it came from. Timber wins another header. Jensen over the top to Thiago, and Mosquera gets his boot through it again, and Gyökeres is fighting with Sepp van der Berg, who wins another header back to Kelleher, beating Gyökeres to the ball.
I mean, he's always been a player, spoke about a young player with massive potential. I know Bayer Leverkusen was in for him before Brentford signed him, and he's really showing that tonight. He's coming into his own, showing what a fantastic defender he can be.
Van der Berg back to Kelleher, just one added minute. That's how much this first half has flowed and ebbed and swung back and forth. It's barely been a stoppage for either side. Timber heads out of play, has a word with Jonathan Brooks. He feels that he was fouled. Back underway at Brentford left wing. Rico Henry's going to take on Madueke. Madueke loses out to Rico Henry, who fights round the winger, but Timber helps him out and clears up to Eze. Eze trying to hold against Janelt, who's been penalised for a push in the back, and Arsenal in a hurry to try and take this one. Jurrien Timber still having a pop at John Brooks for an earlier decision.
Yeah, I'm watching this game, and don't get me wrong, it happens with most games I watch nowadays, but I'm so thankful I don't play anymore looking at the 2 right-backs on this pitch. They are my absolute worst nightmare in a right-back. They're quick, they're strong, they love to defend, so athletic, and they both can get forward and will get forward. They really test you both ways.
Long from David Raya. That will bring an end to a simply unbelievably watchable first half in West London. The whistle goes and Arsenal have work to do. Half-time score, Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Analysis from me and Hogan Ephraim coming up. You're listening to Premier League Live.
TalkSport Podcast League. Outspoken, the best of White and Jordan.
Radio's sharpest sports debate, triple distilled into one unmissable daily download.
How much of a game changer is this going to be?
White versus Jordan, now with added time.
We want to see a proper fight.
A sublime strike partnership of White.
Give us your gut feeling.
And Shade.
Players aren't good enough, coach isn't good enough, board isn't good enough.
Outspoken.
Now that's hard, isn't it? That's harsh.
Out now.
You can only be offended if you choose to be.
Listen or download for free from your favourite podcast portal.
Presenting TalkSport's Masters of On Air, the breakfast show that wings it every morning.
Starring Wing Commander Flaps McCoist,
Navigator Jeff Scramble Stelling, Mid-Gunner Gabby Agbom Lahore, Wireless Operator Alan Bone Dome Brazil. It's 6 Beer Squadron, and Tail End Charlie Ray Party Parlor.
Oh yeah.
The Superstars Super Fortress Breakfast chalks away.
Monday morning from 6 o'clock on TalkSport.
The TalkSport app. Yeah. It's the TalkSport app. Swipe left for TalkSport 2.
Und get Gridiron Grinding Full Match Commentary of the großes NFL Showdown.
Swipe right for TalkSport.
Mit
But Jordan Henderson is giving the national team something that no one else really is. He's an out-and-out sort of defensive midfielder. There aren't many of those in the England lineup. You're looking even in the pool at the likes of Lewis Kirk at Bournemouth. It's not really many. Conor Gallagher at Spurs, maybe. He's one of that, and it's that intangible. Someone from the Southgate era, from that success, to step forward into the new era, other than Harry Kane and Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, massively. And he's one of those ones where he won't be starting Jordan Henderson. His job will be the captain of the non-starters. So days after game, make sure their spirits are right in training, they're at the right intensity. There's obviously talk about who will start in the number 10 role. Will it be Bellingham, Rodgers, Palmer, etc., Phil Foden? Henderson's quite close to Bellingham. If Bellingham is left out, he might need someone there who can have a quiet word with him. Henderson could do that job. And look, I don't want to just sound dismissive of Henderson, because he's still a very good player who's operating at a very good level in the Premier League. So he can add qualities on the pitch too. But his off the pitch intangibles, that's what he'll be taken for.
Speaking of non-starters, let's look at the bench for Arsenal, because that was a big talking point coming into this game. It is ridiculous. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Ricardo Calafiori. There is a whole host of standout stars there, most notably Saka and Jesus, I would say, in an attacking sense. Given the way the game is going, do you think it's likely we see a couple of them?
Yeah, well, this will be a real test of Arteta. I know early on in the season he was accused of having the handbrake on, and he's slightly gone for it a little bit more. But I think tonight he'll just have to smell the game. If it's in a period where Brentford are on top, he may not risk it. But how Arsenal finish that half, I'd be looking, if they continue the first 10-15 minutes like that, I'd be looking to get Saka and Odegaard on. They're the ones you want on the ball in and around the Brentford box. Jesus as well, maybe Martinelli. Real quality on the bench.
If you're Brentford at this point, do you take a point?
Not just yet. I think the game is there to win. I wouldn't go ridiculous and go gung-ho, but keep going how you are, and just smell the game. See how desperate Arsenal are to win, and you might catch them on the brick.
Well, after the first half, it's 0-0. Can Brentford hold on, or will Arsenal extend their lead at the top of the Premier League? A brilliant game so far, and a big 45 to come. You're listening to Premier League Live.
TalkSport Podcast League. Outspoken, the best of White and Jordan.
Now available in one unmissable daily podcast.
He's going to be in charge for a considerable period of time. It's a load of old pony.
The final word on the final scores with Jim Mighty White.
I really mean this with sincerity.
And Simon the Saint Jordan.
What on earth have you got? I think I look like the Saint. I think it's a Simon Temple outlook. I expected to hear the
Bayern Munich in Europe's top 5 leagues have scored more goals on counter-attacks than Brentford. Bayern have scored 10, sending the likes of Elise off running, but in Dango Ouattara and Thiago's flick-ons, that's a real weapon for Brentford in a funny sort of way. They almost want less possession than they had in that first half.
Yeah, probably so. And I believe that will happen in this second half. I know I've mentioned I think it would be a decent point for Arsenal. I don't think there'd be any shame in drawing here. But their intention will be to go and win this game. Let's not get that confused by any stretch of the imagination. We can see they're bringing on Odegaard at half-time. They're going to go for it, and that will leave space for Ouattara to run into. Martin
Odegaard drinking his water bottle, swirling it in his mouth and spitting it out onto the pitch down in front of us, while one Norwegian has been making headlines for his record-breaking speed in cross-country. Can Martin Odegaard make some headlines coming off the bench for Arsenal against Brentford when they need their captain most? The Bees emerge from the tunnel in those red and white striped shirts, black shorts, black socks. Arsenal, of course, in navy blue shirts with red stripes down the sleeve, white shorts and white socks. In fact, it's a light grey number for Arsenal, the shorts and socks. It's Eze that has been removed for the Gunners. That's another quite difficult moment for Eze, that, hooked at half-time.
Yeah, that's a bad moment for him. I want to change my rankings to 3 out of 10 now. Things aren't looking good for him, though. I know he's not been doing great, but the worst thing for a footballer is when it seems as though you don't have the trust of the manager. And he seems to be, in a position where if he ever does start, if things aren't going perfectly for the team, he's the first one taken out. And yeah, it's not good. This isn't a young player we're talking about. This is a 27-year-old who, I believe he's 28 at the end of the season. This is an experienced player, and that will hurt him.
So Brentford to get this game underway, or the second half underway rather, going from my right to my left. Arsenal defending to the left of halfway. It's Luke Long by Matthias Jensen. He just pumps it into touch, Six Nations style, to give Arsenal a throw by their own corner flag on the right. They're setting their table out, Brentford, to go at the Gunners in this second half. Timber throws it backwards, volleyed long. Van der Berg heads forward again. Timber tries another ball down the line to Madueke. 1-2 between him and Timber. Rolled in behind. Victor Gyökeres off and running. It's a foot race between him and Ajer, and Christopher Ajer wins it back to Kelleher in the 6-yard box. Kelleher's diagonal out to the right wing towards Dango Ouattara. I'll remind you of the lineups when we get the chance, but Arsenal on the attack with Martin Odegaard pumped away by Christopher Ajer. So, for Brentford, Kelleher's in goal, Coyote, Ajer, Van der Berg, Henry the back line, Yarmouk Janelt in the middle, Ouattara, Jensen and Lewis Potter behind Thiago up front. Martin Odegaard for Arsenal, edge of the 18-yard box, chipped in behind, here's Hincapié across goal, sliding in as Victor Gyökeres, can't make contact, Brentford throw on the left wing.
Yeah, you've just seen in the first minute there how special Odegaard is, the little scoop in the air to put Hincapié away. Sort of Antonio Valencia style, he just smashes it across the face of goal. That's the one where I'm saying Gyökeres is reactive, not proactive. Yeah, he's not on the move and he's just out-muscled there by Ajer.
So Vitaly Janelt, really poor clearance, mishits it, and that allows Gyökeres to try and bring it down, but he can't do so. Odegaard back to Timber, the right back. Arsenal still on the attack, which reminds you of their lineup. Timber is the right back, Mosquera, Gabriel, the two centre-backs, Hincapié at left back, Zubimendi and Rice in the middle, Madueke right wing, Trossard left wing. It's now Odegaard in number 10. He came on for Eze. Gyökeres still leads the line, but I'm not sure for how much longer at the moment. Odegaard tackled fairly by Janelt in the middle, but John Brooks gives the free kick Arsenal's way.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a free kick there. But Van der Berg's done well with the tackle.
Zubimendi dispossessed. Now Declan Rice, Odegaard turning, finding Yuri and Timber. Breaking down the right-hand side is Noni Madueke. Timber, Madueke will swing it in first time. Good-looking delivery, missed by Coyote, settled by Zubimendi. Victor Gyökeres blocked in front of goal. Trossard's effort was surely going in, but a red and white shirt gets in the way. Arsenal want handball. Flying start to the second half by the league leaders. Left wing Zubimendi, here's Leandro Trossard, guided into Declan Rice. Two red and white shirts slide in, it's Coyote and Ouattara that combine to get it away, but Brentford having to ride a storm out at the moment.
Yeah, it was really bad defending at the back post from Coyote. I thought Trossard should have scored, but he's passed it to Gyökeres, he's laid it off. I think it was Zubimendi with a strike. It was a great block. I know they're claiming handball. His hands were right by his side, and I thought it was more stomach and chest area.
So chipped down the line by Odegaard. Gyökeres starting to grow an involvement. Back to Odegaard, who's really making Arsenal tick in this second half. Dead centre, 35 yards out. Leandro Trossard rolls it onto his left boot and passes right-footed to the left wing. Hincapié, a long way forward from left back. Declan Rice now into the middle for Mosquera. Arsenal on the move, shifting it from left to right. It's all the way out to Madueke. Rico Henry not giving him a second breathing space. Down the line from Madueke, Timber's cross block. Rico Henry, a clinic of one-on-one defending today.
Yeah, brilliant defending, stopping across there. But I just want to go back to how the second half started. It was kick-off for Brentford. Janssen just flicks it up and just smashes it out of touch on Arsenal throwing. Look, Brentford have access to way more data than me. There's a reason they must do it. I think it's ridiculous. You have 10 passing options to pass to unopposed. You wouldn't get a free kick on the halfway line and do that, so why do it at a set piece?
Timber in field to Martin Odegaard. Brentford haven't really touched the ball since they did it. In 3 and a bit minutes. Odegaard to Zubamendi, right of centre, 30 yards out, rolled to Timber, who's backing in against Keane Lewis-Potter. Keane Lewis-Potter was caught there and is lucky that Timber hasn't gone falling over his outstretched leg. In the end, Brentford can clear, and the whole mood has shifted. And, well, I'm doing a motion to you, Hogan Ephraim, and we look down at Keith Andrews below as he's doing exactly the same hand gesture. He's telling his side to calm down and pick it up at the same time. He's filling his lungs with air, Keith Andrews. His side need to breathe. They're not at the moment. Arsenal forward again. Aya clears long. Ouattara's going to run with Hincapié, who had a 10-yard head start, and goes back to David Raya, 20 yards out from his own 18-yard box.
Yeah, I just think even on that clearance there from Aya, he could have played out to the right to Coyote, who's in a lot of space, but they seem like a little bit nervous, and it's understandable the pressure Arsenal are putting on them. So you're just giving the ball back to him, but that's when life becomes so hard then.
So it's going to be an Arsenal free kick, right of centre outside their own 18-yard box. It's 50 minutes on the clock. It's Brentford 0, Arsenal 0, and they've sent out the cavalry to go warm up. That's Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, all out there stretching. Whole host of options to pick from. David Raya to take this free kick, 10 yards from the right edge of his penalty area. Right arm in the air, gets his foot under it. It's looped to the right wing when Madueke heads it in field. Janelt clears in a hurry. They just can't settle the ball down, Brentford. Thiago does eventually pluck it out the sky. Good number 9 play to keep it moving through the middle, but Rico Henry's given it away. And Arsenal are on it again with Gabriel. Here's Hincapié. Running past Ouattara, not really got a passing option on, but Gyökeres does show good movement to collect it and then runs himself out of touch. A really good run initially by Gyökeres when Hincapié was out of options and had nowhere to go. Gyökeres burst down the line to show for it, collected the pass, got there ahead of his man, and then just runs himself over the touchline.
Yeah, he gets caught like that quite a bit, Gyökeres. It's as though his mind and his body, they're not working at the same time. He's just overthinking stuff and he can't react. He has to do a lot more. You mentioned it earlier that he may not be out there for too much longer, and I think Jesus could be coming on soon because he's not been good enough.
Well, Arsenal making a very assured start to this second half despite Victor Gyökeres' struggles initially. Declan Rice sideways to Zubamendi. Home it goes to David Raya. Under pressure, clears in a hurry. Hincapié's touch off the chest will force him wide. Then he flicks it back over Ouattara's head. That's magnificent from Hincapié, but the ball down the line for Trossard, anything but. Intercepted by Ouattara. Still, we're 7 minutes into this second half. I can't remember Brentford completing a pass as of yet. That needs to change quickly if they're going to keep the league leaders at bay. Hincapié, Trossard, half turn left of centre, just inside Brentford territory, diagonal over Rico Henry's head, but he cranes those neck muscles to meet it and head it in field from a left back position, and Keane Lewis-Potter's going to run in a straight line. He's got nothing on there, he's just going to have to keep running, and what a run it is from Keane Lewis-Potter. He's driving in behind Ouattara, and now Thiago blocked by a sliding challenge from Gabriel. Where did that come from Keane Lewis-Potter?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Honestly, when he's done that little run, it was giving me flashbacks to Ryan Giggs in '99. It was fantastic play from him. Janssen's just getting booked here. Late tackle on Madueke, deservedly so. But fantastic play, Lewis-Potter. I thought Ouattara's touch was really good as well into Thiago. He's done everything right, Thiago. He's tried to just shift it a yard, get the shot. It's really good defending from Mosquera. But that's what they have to do, Brentford. When you're defending, at least carry a threat, just so Arsenal know It's like in a boxing match when it's so one-sided and then they feel a punch to the face and they start respecting the power of the opponent.
Well, it was Timber and Madueke running with Keane Lewis Potter. Both of them were on him, and he went with a bull roll from right to left with his right boot. After he'd rolled his foot over the ball, he flicked it back to where it came from and just squeezed between the sandwich Arsenal were trying to catch him in. Here's Zubimendi left of centre for Arsenal. Helping it wide to Hincapié. Cross is not a good one. Madueke might make something of it regardless in the right-hand channel, but Keane Lewis Potter holds him off. Rolls down the line for Jensen. Jensen has nowhere to go and he's given it away.
Yeah, they will be thinking about a change soon, Brentford in midfield. You've obviously got Janelt and Jensen both on yellow cards now. It's making life a bit more difficult, so whether Jordan Henderson will come into the thinking, and I know they're having to defend a lot and put in a shift, but maybe a Damsgaard can get his foot on the ball and keep it ticking over a little bit.
Well, they're still not had any significant possession in the second half. There's 54 minutes on the clock. Not often you can survive like that against Arsenal. Trossard, left wing, shaking off Janelt. Janelt gets a foot in, but it's not enough. Declan Rice, back heel to Odegaard, shaping to shoot, but the angle's too tight, so it's wide against Hincapié by the byline. Just a few yards from the corner flag on the left, the Ecuadorian. Scooped backwards to Gabriel. Gabriel back to Rice, chased down by Janelt, but he's leggy now is Janelt, and Odegaard's in space. Trossard will take over. Trossard, shot, hits Ayer, deflects behind, Arsenal corner.
Yeah, that was trouble there when Trossard was coming inside. I was expecting for him to wrap it into the far post, but he's gone more for the laces, aiming for the near post. Good block in the end from Ayer, but look, the Arsenal fans are up for this now that they've seen the set piece.
Declan Rice to take the corner kick from the left-hand side, drive it into the penalty area. The fourth corner kick Arsenal have had in this game. You won't need reminding of the stats. 17 Premier League goals from set pieces, 14 from corners, 55 on the clock. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Declan Rice in swinger from the left, deep to the back post, brought down by Trossard in the penalty area. Madueke strikes, tight angle, flicks up, shortly hits his arm. Brentford want a free kick, not going to get one, and now the red and white shirts are standing off Madueke. Madueke cuts in, checks round Janelt, 18-yard box. Trossard right hand side, back in field to Odegaard, space to cross. Martin Odegaard wraps his foot round it. Coyote heads away. Declan Rice lining up a shot from distance, instead squares to Jurrien Timber, right edge of the penalty area, hits Leandro Trossard. Can he keep it in play? No is the answer. Brentford goal kick.
Yeah, Trossard's the one who's looking a bit lively, showing a bit of imagination. His first touch on the initial corner, which was hung up in the sky, was unbelievable. And then it fell to Madueke. I thought it was a handball from Madueke, but the referee let it carry on. I'll be shocked if Saka's not on soon. Madueke, he's not been at it today.
So Kelleher to take the goal kick. Still in that highlighter green Brentford goalkeeper shirt with green tights underneath. It's not a particularly cold evening. It's a muddy and boggy one though in West London, raining almost all day. Cleared away by Hincapié. Here's Coyote on the right wing, on the halfway line. Goes backwards to Sepp van den Berg, and finally, after what feels like an age, Brentford will feel as though they can put their foot on the ball, slow things down, and maybe be an active participant in the second half in which Arsenal have dominated. Sepp van den Berg, Matthias Jensen, Henry at left back, goes backwards to the left-hand channel of his own 18-yard box where Sepp van den Berg is waiting. And smart this, just electing for a spell of possession, the home side.
Yeah, absolutely. Just killing a bit of the tempo and rhythm in the game and getting themselves a little bit of a breather.
They ran out of patience eventually though and went long to Thiago. Jensen takes the ball off Timber and a very late whistle comes from John Brooks. And Keith Andrews can't believe it, he's on a yellow card, so he's holding his lips tightly below us. Mikel Arteta not, he's screaming at John Brooks that Jensen should get a second yellow. Wasn't a great deal in that from where I was sitting.
No, I think Mikel Arteta won Arsenal the free kick there with his reaction. The referee wasn't going to give it. There's no way that was a foul.
Hincapié, 20 yards from the corner flag, left-hand side. Ticking towards the hour mark on Premier League Live. Declan Rice, 1-2 with Hincapié into the penalty area. Left for Martin Odegaard, who gets it all wrong. Left-footed shot, clears the crossbar, almost clears the stands.
Yeah, really good football. Declan Rice at the heart of it again. Lovely little 1-2 between him and Hincapié. Nice cutback. Trossard's alert. He does the over. Odegaard's got to do better than that on his left foot. So much quality he has. for me, one of the best, if not the best, pure footballer in the league. And he's got to come up with more quality than that.
But he hit it left-footed, Odegaard, from left of the edge of the D. It was on the edge of the 18-yard box, the ball, when he struck it. And it just goes sailing over the crossbar, trying to spin his foot on the ball to generate whip on it. Just got underneath it in the end, the Norwegian. Kelleher puts the resulting goal kick straight into touch. They're not helping themselves to be. As I said, they wanted less possession, perhaps to counter. Yeah. I didn't mean no possession.
Yeah, we're going to have to get another ball on for Brentford soon. They've just had none of it, but Arsenal, what would worry them is they've had 5 attempts, 0 on target. There's been a real lack of quality in the final third.
Declan Rice rolled across midfield to Mosquera. Starting to bring Arsenal forward from centre-back is Christian Mosquera. Odegaard, pocket of space on the right wing. Through ball, threaded in behind for Timber. Was actually a fantastic ball, that, despite the cheers. Timber was on his heels.
Yeah, absolutely. Odegaard doesn't get his weight of pass wrong. The pass was perfect. So if the ball does go out of play when Odegaard passes it to you, you have to know it's a you problem.
He's a fascinating conundrum, Martin Odegaard, because I'm with you, Hogan. I watch him and think that is one of the best pure footballers I've ever seen. But he gets a lot of criticism for Arsenal fans. He is struggling a bit this season. This is just his 16th, he's made just 16 starts. This is just his 26th appearance. No, he's had injuries here and there. But at times, Arsenal fans think for all that quality, which they see as well, he doesn't do quite enough in carrying them to victories.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends and family who are Arsenal fans, and he is the first one that they all complain about, and it stuns me. I honestly think he's the best footballer in that team. Saka's probably the most effective player, but I just think Odegaard controls games and runs the show at a level that nobody else in the league does.
Gyökeres is going to try and take on Christopher Ajer. Cannons off his heels towards the corner flag and then runs out of room and finds Leandro Trossard. Bukayo Saka is receiving some instruction down below us. He might just be ready to come on for the Gunners. What a boost that will be, having Bukayo Saka back and fit. Unzips his blue Arsenal jacket. Trossard flicks one into the penalty area. Coyote blocks, clears away as far as Hincapié by the corner flag. Crossed into Madueke, good header, good finish. Arsenal lead. Well, just like that, the valve's released, the pressure eases, and Arsenal are 1-0 up.
Wow, what a goal it is as well, and it's come out the blue in the way of they've had the pressure, but just like a throw-in which nothing was going to come of. Hincapié whips in a delightful cross, and honestly, what a header from Madueke. Just redirecting it back to where it come from. Kelleher has no chance.
Well, Hincapié, playing left-back, swung it in from by the corner flag. It was an off-balance, awkward cross to deliver, but it was weight and note perfect. Hincapié threw it infield. Trossard played it back to him. It was swung in by the corner flag on the left-hand side. So much whip on it. The whip was carrying it away from goal. And Madueke at the edge of the 6-yard box, right-hand side of the penalty area, readjusts, heads it back to where it came from, and a looping header is past the helpless dive of Kelleher and lands in the bottom left of his goal from the right-hand side of the penalty area. Fantastic header from Noni Madueke, and Arsenal have the lead away from home against Brentford. And the look on the fans, the players and the coaches' face alike is sheer relief.
Oh, absolutely. But honestly, the leap from Madueke and the strength of his right arm to just hold Rico Henry at bay, and then it's just about redirecting the header. There's the pace of the ball on the cross, and he does it beautifully. I think that's his first Premier League goal for Arsenal, and what a massive one that could be.
Well, Noni Madueke heading it across goal and past the dive of Kelleher. There was nothing really on there. Arsenal took a terrible throw. It was a poor clearance by Coyote, back out to the left-hand side, and Hincapié, no doubt it was deliberate, but just flung his left boot at it to cross it, and the whip and the bounce on the ball took it right onto Madueke's head at the edge of the 6-yard box. Towering header to give Arsenal the lead. Brentford will try and respond with a Coyote long throw from the left, 15 yards from the corner flag. Deep it goes into the 6-yard box. It's spilled by David Raya. It's away by Gabriel, and Arsenal are moaning there was too many bodies around their goalkeeper. For me, I'd say that's a little ironic.
Yeah, there was nothing, no wrongdoing there from any Brentford player. Really good throw. He got himself in all sorts of trouble there, David Raya. And I know Brentford have the corner, but I think Arsenal will be delighted it's a corner and not throwing, to be honest.
So, corner kick to Brentford. Got to come in from the left wing again for the Bees. There's so many bodies, red and white and blue Arsenal shirts. They're just wrestling each other in the 6-yard box. David Raya is at the moment in the back of his own net, trying to force his way out. In goes the in-swinger, the bodies go up, and Hincapié steers it over his own crossbar. Good defensive header from Hincapié, an assist up one end, and a good defensive clearance at the other.
Yeah, it's outstanding defending that from Hincapié. The ball, the height on it, the whip on it, I thought I was just going to take a glance and it'd be a goal.
Another Brentford corner kick, again from the left. Ayers in the 6-yard box, Ouattara's in there, Vandenberg's in there, Thiago's holding on to the right post. That's how close he is to the goal line. In swinger from the Dane, Matthias Jensen, deep to the back post. It goes, Keane Lewis-Potter had to do better. Down it goes from the 6-yard box, flashed past the near post. Keith Andrews has his head in his hands, and so does Keane Lewis-Potter. Free header, not on target.
Oh, he has to do better there, Lewis-Potter. If he gets that on target, especially with all the bodies around there, because just take a nick off anyone and go in, it's a massive chance. Just so ironic that Brentford's best chances are coming from corners.
Sepp Vandenberg immediately spun back to Keane Lewis-Potter and basically said, what have you done? It was a free header, back post. It was a tight angle, but as you say, with so many bodies, any sort of contact goalward, that might take a deflection in. Arsenal go long up the other end. Brentford's best football in this second half has come after they went 1-0 down. Before that they were despondent and they rather sleptwalked themselves behind.
Yeah, and it's just so strange how that so often happens in football, because you were clearly for the best part of 15-20 minutes battered by Arsenal, but now you've actually got a head of steam. I just think they sent the wrong message with that kick-off personally, just giving the ball back to the other team. That would just never make sense to me.
Yarmulke. Perfect touch by Ouattara to pluck it out the sky. Early delivery towards Keane Lewis-Potter, back post, headed across goal. And again, Thiago's on his heels. Now, if you've got to criticise the striker at one end, got to criticise Thiago there. Keane Lewis-Potter does his job, collects the long ball from Ouattara, heads it back across the face of goal, and Thiago wasn't reacting.
Yeah, he has to be gambling. You have to believe that Lewis-Potter's going to win that header and you need to be on to the next action. But he was just asleep in the box.
Brentford win it right back though, and having another little spell here just after Arsenal's opener, courtesy of Noni Madueke. 66 minutes gone. Matt Drabble, Hogan Ephraim. Brentford versus Arsenal. This is Premier League Live. Kelleher clears away from the edge of his D. A lovely bit of distribution to find Ouattara, but Hincapié's out to meet him quickly. Coyote goes backwards to Christopher Ayer. Across the back line to Kelleher again. Need to find something from somewhere. Do Brentford. From Arsenal all going to plan at the moment. 6 points their gap to City as it stands. Rico Henry beats Madueke to the loose ball, checks back, finds Janelt. Not sure Janelt wanted that, and he's given it away to Odegaard. Odegaard racing forward for Arsenal in the penalty area. Declan Rice helped through to Victor Gyökeres and bundled away by Coyote. Rice too unselfish. Madueke picks up the loose ball in the penalty area, back towards Odegaard. Keane Lewis-Potter gets a foot in. Janelt surely has to put his foot through this, and eventually he does. And Thiago has rolled Mosquera, and it's a one-on-one. Thiago versus Gabriel, the two Brazilians. Here comes Igor Thiago, saved by Raya. Back to Thiago, headed behind for a goal kick.
Wow. He had so much time to think about it, and Gabriel just backed off. And I think that helped Thiago in a way of he was never going to outrun Gabriel. Once he gets in there and he finds a yard to shoot, you're thinking, goal, good save, David Raya.
Now Arsenal having a golden chance for Victor Gyökeres to tap home, but Declan Rice tried to roll it along the edge of the 6-yard box to Victor Gyökeres when Rice himself had the goal at his mercy. Crazy decision by such a normally brilliant decision maker. Gyökeres chests it down and lays it off to Odegaard. Magnificent football, but Ayer intercepts. It's swinging end to end, this one now. It was rather cagey at the start of the second half, with Arsenal controlling the ball in and around the Brentford penalty area. Now it's back and forth. Hincapié can't keep that in play and stops Yarmulke taking the throw quickly. Interesting that he doesn't get booked there, Hincapié.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing there, just slowing it down. Both managers getting ready to make a change as well. We're going to see Saka for Arsenal and Damsgaard for Brentford. I think Jordan Henderson as well will be joining him, so Arsenal, they're going to reverse the roles now. They're going to want to hold on to what they've got, but they will still carry a threat. Declan Rice will be running forward. Saka will be an outlet once he gets on. And then they will fancy a second goal on the break, Arsenal.
Keane Lewis Potter can't hold. Timber drives forward. He goes down looking for a free kick, won't get one. Yarmouth finds Jensen, and Brentford have runners all of a sudden. One of them's Dango Ouattara, steps round Hincapié. Ouattara, Coyote bursting into space. Now Coyote's shot, it's blocked in front of goal. Gabriel celebrates like he's scored a goal. Diving header, denies the right back a screamer from the edge of the area.
Yeah, just what a player to watch, Coyote. He's just so fun. Everything's just full of energy, and he's skipping past tackles there. Gets his shot away, really good from Gabriel there. No turning his back on it. Stands up straight, stands up strong, heads it away. But another corner, this will be a chance for Brentford to load the box again.
It's a fantastic point you make, Hogan, because how many defenders with someone lining up a knuckleball from 20 yards are going to turn their back or do that half turn, tucking their arms behind them? Gabriel faced that ball up. It was about 5 yards away from his forehead and said, I'm going to take the full brunt of this to my Swede, to my dome, and head it behind. And that's exactly what the Brazilian did.
Yeah, good job. His head's that massive as well that it will absorb some of the pain. But he's the one in the Premier League who would want Gabriel in that situations. Where I mentioned before the game, a lot of people still say Van Dijk's the best centre-back. Even Van Dijk, you see him turn his back on shots. Gabriel is always going to take it wherever it hurts.
Hurt to watch that one, but Gabriel watched the ball onto his face from about 5 yards. So brave in his defending. Brentford have a corner kick coming up from the left. It's going to be an in-swinger for the Bees, who are again trying to crowd out David Raya in the 6-yard box. Near post it goes, nodded on. Gyökeres doing his bit defending at the front post. Saka's clearance is poor. He's since come on to remind you of those substitutions. There's been so much action. We barely had a chance to bring them to you. Damsgaard is on, but not for a midfielder. For Keane Lewis Potter, Henderson is on for Yehor Yarmouth. So Yarmouth off, Henderson on, Damsgaard on, Keane Lewis Potter off. Interesting change for Brentford, who have got a long throw here to be taken from the right by Coyote. Spinning free, a red and white shirt to the penalty area. Van den Berg's header, and it's headed in into the top corner by Keane Lewis Potter. What a header! Well, our monitor just told us he'd been subbed off. He certainly hasn't. He's just put Brentford in the lead with a diving header from the back of the penalty area.
Oh wow, just listen to this stadium. Unbelievable. And look, we mentioned a few moments ago, look, Odegaard's down injured now. I'm not sure if there's anything to look at there, but we mentioned moments ago, the throw-ins are causing so many problems. Such a bullet throw that is. There's a flick on from a Brentford player. And then Lewis Potter steaming in. He might have missed a header from the corner. He wasn't making no mistake with that one.
It is a wonderfully worked long throw by the team that do it best. Coyote, 20 yards from the left corner flag, leans back, swings a low, flat, driven throw into the penalty area. Guess who wins the header? The man that's been winning headers all evening, Sepp van den Berg. It's looping towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and a diving header by Keane Lewis Potter, who was seconds away from being subbed off. They delayed the substitution till after the throw had been taken. His diving header arrows into the top left corner from 6 yards out, right-hand side of the penalty area. And Raya planted his feet, stood no chance. In it goes. Brentford 1, Arsenal 1, and somewhere Pep Guardiola is pulling on a red and white shirt.
Oh, absolutely. And look, Odegaard looks in serious trouble here. There's no wrongdoing from any Brentford player. Odegaard actually loses his man, Lewis Potter, and he tries to swing his leg at it, and I just think he hyperextends his knee, to be honest. It doesn't look great for Odegaard. But you mentioned in the first half, Van den Berg's just been a magnet to the ball in the air in his own box. Now this was him in the opposition's box. And it's just funny that both goals, we saw Saka was about to come on, he was getting his final instructions, and Madueke scored, and now the roles are reversed. Lewis Potter, he's just gone off after scoring.
So Brentford now do make those subs. Keane Lewis Potter is off, Damsgaard is on, Henderson is on, and Yarmouth is off. So it's Yarmouth and Keane Lewis Potter going off, Henderson and Damsgaard coming on. Those subs we told you about moments ago have now happened, have now been confirmed. And Martin Odegaard is hobbling off the pitch for Arsenal. This does not look good for him, but Brentford it looks very good for. They are level against the league leaders.
Yeah, I did want to say just before that goal, it never felt like this was going to finish 1-0. And I don't want to jinx it now, but I don't think it's going to finish 1-1. I still believe there's another goal in this. Without clear-cut chances, there's just so much action going on. There's such tempo to the game. Neither side's just happy and trying to waste time. So it just feels like they've got goals. Declan Rice trying to rile up the Arsenal players now.
The best to do it from long throws are Brentford. They've proven it time and time again. They proved it there. Thrown in by Coyote, flicked on by Vandenberg. Keane Lewis Potter, steaming header into the top corner. Janelt to take the resulting throw. Rico Henry in fact takes over, thrown backwards to Sepp Vandenberg. Across the back line it goes, Christopher Ayer. Odegaard sprints back on. I can't believe he's carrying on the way he went off, and he's not moving well at all. He's jogging with a kink in his step. Odegaard is still holding that left knee.
Yeah, I did a game earlier in the season, Arsenal at home to, I think it was West Ham, and Odegaard went off for about 5 minutes, came back on, was useless for 5 or 10 minutes where you could see he was in pain, and then went off. And that's the third time he had done that for Arsenal. They haven't got 5 minutes to waste here. If he's hurt, he needs to come off.
74 minutes on the clock. Brentford 1, Arsenal 1. Madueke opening the scoring with a header from a Hincapié cross. Brentford equalising with a long throw, cleared up in the air by Gabriel from the edge of his 6-yard box. Brought down by Matthias Jensen, who's growing again into this game after running the first half. Rico Henry fouled. Brentford free kick, left wing, a step in from the touchline. And Bukayo Saka giving the free kick away. Brentford will lurch bodies into that penalty area.
Yeah, Rico Henry looked like he was looking for someone to play quickly, and my first thought was load the box. You're having joy with deliveries into the box, whether that be corners or throw-ins. And what would be disappointing from Arsenal's point of view is on the corner which he missed a chance and the goal, Lewis Potter's not one of the bigger players. He's quite small. He can't be getting free headers.
Jensen back heels it to Janelt, who would change the angle, dribbling down the line. Janelt puts his boot through the delivery. Deep to the back post it goes, and Gabriel, fortunately, he missed it. So too is Hincapié. Someone gave him a shout, which I didn't particularly listen to, but it doesn't matter. Arsenal will have a goal kick regardless.
Yeah, I think this next 15 minutes or so is a real test for Arsenal. Not so much in the way of are they going to go and get the 3 points, just mentally how do they control this now with the atmosphere, with giving away the 1-goal lead. What's their response like?
Gyökeres bursting forward left hand side, still he remains on the pitch. Victor Gyökeres tries to pass backwards to Trossard, gives it away to Christopher Ayer, but Ayer has a rush of blood to the head and just pumps it straight into touch when he didn't need to. And Arsenal gifted a throw now. These final 15 will be fascinating. As Hogan has just said, time to test this new mentality that Arsenal have shown so many times. Hincapié allowed to cross from the left but doesn't. Trossard still on the left wing, cuts in field to Gabriel, 30 yards from goal, left of centre. Trossard looks for Declan Rice, given away. Can Damsgaard lead a charge away? Tries to dribble away from danger. That was ill-advised, and Arsenal are back on it again with Hincapié. 18 yards from the corner flag. Backwards to Declan Rice, who waits just shy of him. Gabriel will power forward from centre-back. Damsgaard gets a foot in, back heeled by Janelt. Brentford on the charge, but they've given it away again, and Trossard's onside. Has a chance here to deliver, but he slows down for Arsenal. Left byline, crossed in, deep to the back post. Bukayo Saka brings it down on the thigh. They're still trying to dribble out from the back, Brentford. At some point, they're going to need to put their boot through this.
Absolutely. But it's just so weird. At 1-0 down, they weren't defending like this, and now they've got the goal and they've gone back to what they were doing.
3 times in succession, Brentford have tried to dribble out of their own 18-yard box. 3 times in succession, they've given it away. Arsenal on it again. Martin Odegaard now moving a little better. Rolling through midfield, finding Gabriel left of centre, outside the centre circle. Trossard on the left flank, a step in from the touchline, goes back to the yellow boots of the centre-back Gabriel. Mosquera stepping forward, 13 minutes left to play, 1-1 and finally poised. Don't go anywhere if you're listening to Premier League Live. This should be a blockbuster. Final 13 in the race for the Premier League title. Rice. All the way home by Gabriel. David Raya waits at the edge of the D. Laces it forward, does Gabriel. Bulleted over halfway. Saka heads in field. Lovely touch by Saka. Nodded on by Zubimendi. Intercepted by Christopher Ayer. Jensen will have to try and hold this up. Mosquera, careless, comes charging through the back of him like a runaway freight train. Brentford free kick.
Honestly, if I'm an Arsenal player or one of the coaches, I'll be absolutely fuming with Mosquera there. Brentford are under the cosh. They're not going to get themselves out of pressure there. Jensen, who's not the tallest, strongest guy in the world, and Mosquera just comes running through the back of him. That allows Brentford now to get players up the pitch, takes the pressure off them, and ticks down the clock.
So Matthias Jensen won't take the free kick. He's going to walk away and let Kelleher send it long. And we're going to see Calafiori and Martinelli for Arsenal as well. So they've brought Saka on the right-hand side. They're going to completely change the left-hand side, the Gunners. Kelleher could try and send this one long for Brentford, just in front of Mikel Arteta, who doesn't look like a man in a particularly calm state of mind. Kelleher. His kick makes it all the way into the penalty area, where it's brought down by Damsgaard in front of goal, rolled to the right-hand side for Jordan Henderson. By the right corner flag, swings it in, finds Mikel Damsgaard, he's breaking goalward. Gabriel gets in the way, Brentford corner kick.
Honestly, this is set up for an unbelievable last 11 minutes. I just think there's something in this game for one of these two teams. I thought there was maybe a handball from Damsgaard in there, but there wasn't. It comes off his ribs.
It's a very good challenge by Gabriel in the circumstances at the edge of the 6-yard box. Janelt's going to take the corner kick. Standing ovation for him as he walks over. Where was he at the start of this season? Started one of the first 15 games. Now he started 11 of the last 12. Looking to place an assist on the head of a red and white shirt in the 6-yard box. In-swinger from the left. 80 minutes on the clock. Brentford 1, Arsenal 1. Looking to do Manchester City a favour in the Premier League title race. Thiago and Zubimendi have a hold on one another in the 6-yard box. What a moment it would be for Thiago to get Premier League goal number 18 of the season. In it goes from Janelt. Really poor delivery, but it will still run for Van der Berg. Chipped forward, and Ouattara is jumping to try and steer it home, but he can't.
Wow. I'm not sure if he's onside or not. I'm not sure if the flag has gone up. But Van der Berg just digs one out of his feet. It wasn't intentional, he was just trying to get it. It would have been onside. Ouattara, it's missed him by literally an inch. It's just over his head. If you can get something on that, from that range, it's a goal.
So Arsenal make their subs. Hopefully this time the subs actually have been made before I announce them. And it is going to be Martinelli on for Leandro Trossard. And we're going to see Calafiori on for Piero Hincapié. So the left-hand side, as predicted, completely changed for the Gunners as they look for a winner. Won by Sepp van der Berg. Regardless of how this finishes, unless he scores 3 own goals in the last 5 minutes, I think, with an assist to his name already, he is probably player of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, in the next 9 minutes or so, Gyökeres may run away and get the winning goal, and Arteta will be proved right, but I don't think he's done enough in his Arsenal career to justify the 81 minutes he's been left on the pitch tonight. If it's Erling Haaland, who has 100 odd goals behind him, I totally understand it. If I'm Jesus, I'm fuming being on the bench tonight.
And try something different, because Arsenal have tried to bully the two Brentford centre-backs. It hasn't worked. Ayer and Sepp van der Berg stood up to it. You get Jesus with the ball at the deck, rolling the ball past them, step-overs, jinking and jiving past them into the penalty area. Let's see if Sepp van der Berg and Ayer can handle that. There's no evidence to suggest they can yet, but you haven't tried it.
Exactly, and they've spent the best part of 81.5 minutes in. They're going to be tired. The last thing they want is someone dropping off into feet, linking play, little clever 1-2s. They don't want to face that, but at the minute they don't have to face it.
Coyote looking over the top, good win by Thiago. Ouattara jumping for it. Blood and thunder football from Brentford. Henderson nods it on. Ouattara races into the right flank. Gabriel makes the challenge. It's not a good one. Gabriel could be in trouble here. He's on a yellow card. Brentford want him sent off. Big decision for John Brooks to make. Brentford are begging for a second yellow card. Ouattara beat him to the ball. He was the last defender, but it was a long way from goal. It was out on the right wing, and that might just have saved Gabriel there.
Yeah, it's a yellow card all day long, though. If he wasn't on one, the referee definitely gives him one.
I am inclined to agree.
Yeah, if he wasn't on one, he gets a yellow card for that. He should be off the pitch, Gabriel. I just think he's a little bit nervous here, the ref, that he knows this will be headline news if you send off a player now and points are dropped.
20,000 referees in the stand have all said yellow card, but John Brooks says no. Well, to describe the instant for you, Ouattara was released in behind by a brilliant header from Jordan Henderson. He was running on the right-hand side. He is a long way from goal. He's only 10 yards in from the right touchline. But he gets a touch ahead of Gabriel, who makes a clumsy, lazy challenge and swings his left leg across Dango Ouattara's midriff, bringing the forward down painfully. And Keith Andrews has made a good decision here and gone and sat down so he doesn't get a red card himself. I think Gabriel should be walking. John Brooks doesn't think so. In the end, we all want to see 11 v 11, and it's play on at the G-Tech. It's going to be a Brentford free kick, right wing, 15 yards from the corner flag, 5 yards in from the touchline, tight angle. In-swinger taken by Janelt. Raya misses it, and it threatened to sneak into the far corner. Well, he made contact, David Raya, but not convincingly. Janelt, I think, was trying to pick up the top corner, and you know what? I think it would land there if David Raya doesn't reach up that right arm and clip it with his fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think Raya, who's normally so assured, at times tonight with crosses, he's gone a bit Areola-like, where you're not getting there, but you always want to get involved in it. I'm not sure he has to.
Brentford corner kick, their 6th of the game now. At one stage, Arsenal had 4 to Brentford's none. Brentford have had 6 in succession. They're fighting in the 6-yard box. David Raya goes down, and Brentford would be lucky because the corner kick went straight out of play anyway. Arsenal want a free kick. They're not going to get one. The referee's going to sort it out again and try and stop the pushing and shoving. It's so funny to see Arsenal frustrated at this, and they have every right to be, I hear them. But this is a monster they've created.
Absolutely.
You can't put it back in the box now. Brentford have a corner kick to take from the left wing. Ayers stood on the toes of Raya. There's 9 or 10 shirts on the goal line, trying to crowd this out. In from Jensen, back post, headed away by Gabriel, kept alive by Damsgaard. Rico Henry 30 yards out, volleys it back goalward. Gabriel puts his boot through it. 85 minutes on the clock, Saka chasing the loose ball. Brentford have let it bounce. Will they live to regret that? Jensen recovers, but only for a moment. Biting into a challenge is Christopher Ayer. Mosquera tries to fire away. It's chaotic stuff at the G-Tech. And Arsenal eventually slow it down, going back to Calafiori. Raya closed down by Thiago, long diagonal to Saka, forward from Rico Henry. Ouattara is the wrong side of Urian Timber. He's being held by Timber, and he's not given a free kick, and John Brooks is going to book Dango Ouattara for whatever he's just said to him.
It's poor for the referee, because it happened in the first half with Madueke, then Hincapié. There was no booking. First of all, it's a foul for Brentford. Timber's pulling him the whole way, but he's just incensing this crowd more and more. They're still upset that Gabriel's on the pitch. But what a game it's been, honestly. The tempo of this game, and I know there's not been a load of goal mouth action. Arsenal have only had the one shot on target, which, whether they win, lose or draw this game, they're going to have to look at. This has not been good enough from them in an attacking sense. But it's been such an enthralling game.
Headed away by Victor Gyökeres. Likely the best 1-1 you're going to see all season.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Rico Henry 15 yards shy of halfway. We'll see if Arsenal are haunted by the ghosts of 2023. At the moment, coming into this game, they're on 56 points after 25 games. That season, they were on 60 after 25 games, but only took 24 points from the final 13 and ended up finishing 5 behind Manchester City. We'll surely do better than that this season. We'll have to hope it's enough. Calafiori bursting in from the left flank, overlapping as Martinelli. Time to cross, checks back right-footed, takes Coyote into the penalty area, cleared by Janelt, and Brentford will have to survive another wave of Arsenal attack. Calafiori marched backwards by John Brooks, who I think is only doing that to just slow things down a bit.
Absolutely. Arsenal tries to gain 5-10 yards on that throw-in.
Martinelli looking for Calafiori, just about kept in play by Damsgaard, poked through to Janelt. Won't want to hold on to this too long at the edge of his own 18-yard box. It's cleared to Thiago, who's got a run, and Mosquera! Thiago takes around Mosquera, one-on-one with Raya! Mosquera recovers with a sliding lunge. Is that going to be a pivotal moment in the title race? Back comes Christian Mosquera, sliding in with Thiago, the second top scorer in the league, one-on-one. Still alive for Brentford with Coyote. Is that going to be the John Stones clearance off the goal line from a few seasons ago? The moment we look back on.
Yeah, that's huge. The initial part is poor from Mosquera, brilliant from Thiago. The second part is poor from Thiago and brilliant from Mosquera. I think he has to roll in Ouattara. I think you roll that to Ouattara and it's 2-1 Brentford. He should even get a shot off quicker, to be honest with you. He takes too long. You mentioned that John Stones clearance off the line, that Stefan Ortega save away at Tottenham. There's little moments like that can change a season.
Thiago was running left of centre, 40 yards from goal. He flicked it over the head of the last defender, Mosquera, but it was blocked by Mosquera sliding in when he got into the penalty area. Long throw from Brentford, headed away. Here's Ouattara, left flank, facing up Gyökeres, dances past Gyökeres, delivers the cross straight into the arms of Raya. Raya's not going to wait around. He sends it long to Gabriel Martinelli, and behind Kelleher sees it bounce, reaches up to head it away. You cannot take your eyes off this. Both sides, hammer and tongs, looking for a winner. Damsgaard down the line, out of play. Arsenal throw on the halfway line, right-hand side.
Yeah, Manchester City fans won't thank me for saying this, but I want the full official put up 7 minutes. I need more of this. There's a winner in this. There honestly is. I want to go back to the Mosquera defending. His agility when Thiago nips it around him is out of this world. So many defenders you'd see lose balance and fall over there. He recovers unbelievably well.
Haven't even had the chance to properly describe that one to you. It was over the top to Thiago. As it bounced, he flicks it with his right boot over the top of the right-sided centre-back Mosquera to run centrally on goal. Mosquera sprints back, and as Thiago is either about to shoot or slide in Ouattara, who's ran alongside him to join in the attack, it would have been a certain goal with David Raya having the whole goal to cover from dead centre. Mosquera slides in, lunges in, and takes it away from the boots of Igor Thiago in what could be a pivotal moment in the story of this Premier League season. Don't you just love the Premier League? Don't you just love the drama? In the 90th minute of play, Brentford go long to Thiago again. Calafiori rolls it back to Mosquera. Declan Rice has faded in this second half dramatically. Calafiori finds Declan Rice again, threaded between the lines to Martinelli, who swivels past Aya. Aya gives away the foul, but won't mind at all, unless Arsenal, of course, make something of it. They've taken the free kick quickly. The Italian right-back and left-back colliding as Coyote takes it off Calafiori. Seemed to have fouled him. John Brooks didn't give it. Arsenal hard done by. Rico Henry carrying over halfway. They want to win at Brentford. They might find one. In behind, Dango Ouattara, back across goal. Damsgaard running onto it. Carried away by Urian Timber on the cover. Arsenal break upfield with Declan Rice. It's a basketball game at the G-Tech at the moment.
Yes, unbelievable. And they've added on 5 minutes with 30 seconds through it. Ouattara, I think, does the right thing. He didn't fancy Thiago across the near post if he was going to whip it. So he's cut it back, hoping Damsgaard would get there. But Declan Rice, talk about giving everything to the last second of the game. That just sums him up as a player.
Here are Arsenal on it again. Into the first of 5 added minutes. Can we have another 90, please? Premier League. Forward it goes towards Gyökeres. It hits him. It drops to Jordan Henderson. It's volleyed over the top by Brentford. Headed down by Thiago. Lifted over the top. Igor Thiago. Right-hand side of the area. Volleys over the top of the crossbar. How many chances are they going to miss to put Arsenal to the sword?
Yeah, he's got to get back in and help his team now, because Arsenal will be getting this ball in play quick. The little touch there from Janssen. Unbelievable touch. Gabriel's the wrong side. And look, it's not the easiest chance in the world, but I've seen him hit some worldies, Thiago. You think back to his left-footed one against Bayern against Manchester United, which was unbelievable. I fancied him there on his right-hand side to just smash that home.
Brentford have had chances today. That is perhaps the best. Right-hand side of the penalty area. 15 yards out, bounces into his path, it bounces up, begging to be hit on the laces. He strikes the half volley goalward, but it kept rising off his boot. He struck it true and pure, but rise and rise it did over the crossbar of David Raya's goal. Anything on target there, and David Raya would have to have iron wrists to keep it out the pace it was hit with.
Look, Thiago's had the header, which was saved by Raya in the first half, the brilliant recovery tackle from Mosquera, and then that chance right there. 3 big chances which he's not taken, but I have to say I think he's been brilliant tonight. A real handful for Gabriel Mosquera.
Lifted over the top by Gyökeres, and now Jurrien Timber's bursting in behind. He's got the strength to hold off Ouattara. Gabriel Martinelli, what a save by Kelleher to deny Martinelli inside the 18-yard box. Every time we look up, the ball's in the penalty area for one of these two sides, and it might be again, because it's long to Thiago. He's going to run at Mosquera left-hand side. Into the 18-yard box he goes. Backwards to Rico Henry. Surely, at some stage, these two sides are going to have to slow it down. Rabona over the top from Jensen. Can this get any more crazy? And seeing it out is Mosquera. He collides with Henry. We could breathe again. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Arsenal aren't 2-1 up here. I thought Gyökeres did really well with a little flick around the corner. Timber's in. To be fair to Brentford, it's actually the one man you'd want running back. It's Ouattara out of all people. His pace gets him out of trouble. But Timber does brilliantly. He lays it to Martinelli. I don't know why he takes the touch. I just think he has to get himself in that Thierry Henry position and whip it. But Kelleher, the speed off his line and the strength in his left wrist, outstanding.
Brentford with a chance to send it forward from a throw on the left-hand side. A minute and a half of play left in this one. Rico Henry down on the deck. Gabriel Martinelli from 7 yards out in the penalty area took a touch after it was squared to him by Jurrien Timber. If he'd hit it first time, no way Kelleher has a chance, but the touch to set himself allowed the Irish keeper to sprint out, fling himself at the ball and make a monumental save, blocking the attempted strike by Martinelli. It's a devastating thing to see Rico Henry down, particularly after the 90 minutes he's put together.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious. He doesn't look in the most amount of pain. He's walking all right. I think he's asking why can't he come on. But he's putting a great shift. I think they'll make the change now, maybe get Hickey on.
Aaron Hickey on for Rico Henry, as confirmed by the man next to me, Hogan Ephraim. I'm Matt Drabble. There's 94 and a half minutes gone in this one. It is Brentford 1, Arsenal 1 at the G-Tech. It has been a modern classic in the Premier League. Make no mistake, you might look at the scoreline, see just 2 goals and think how good could it have been. It's been that good. It's been sensational from minute 1. It's had everything you could ever want. Drama, controversy, yellow cards, chances, saves, strikes and goals. 2 of them which have us poised at 1-1. And Brentford have another throw. Aaron Hickey the substitute to take. 10 yards over the halfway line. They might get one more chance, Brentford. We've had the 95 we were supposed to. Curled in behind for Dango Ouattara. Gets there first ahead of Gabriel. Brentford think the throw's theirs. The referee agrees. I'm not sure he's got that one right.
This is the chance. Coyote in his long throw. It's the same position where the goal came from.
So, Coyote with perhaps the biggest long throw of his season, the biggest long throw of this Premier League season. They scored from the last. Keane Lewis Potter now on the bench, heading it in from the 6-yard box, and the Italian will hurl it in once more. One pivotal fling into the penalty area in the 96th minute of play. Coyote, long run up, soaring, the ball carries into the 6-yard box, up go the shirts, Jensen forward, Van der Berg in front of Raya. Raya claims it, he wants to get Arsenal moving quickly. It's bowled out to Declan Rice. Rice is round Matthias Jensen, he's looking for an outlet ball. The England midfielder finds it in the form of Timber just outside the centre circle. Timber gives it away. Brentford can come the other way again. 4 red and white runners forward. One of them's Dango Ouattara. Damsgaard making a run ahead of him. Dango Ouattara shoots for Brentford, deflected. David Raya across his goal, keeps it out and prevents the corner kick. Or does he? That will do it. Arsenal salvage a point, and yes, you heard that right, it's the league leaders clinging on at the end to salvage a point. A game that went back and forth, went up and down, went topsy-turvy and finishes level. And here's how you heard it all on Premier League Live. 10 yards from the corner flag, left hand. header! What a header! Well, our monitor just told us he'd been subbed off. He certainly hasn't.
The throw-ins are causing so many problems. Such a bullet throw that is. There's a flick on from a Brentford player. And then Lewis Potter steaming in. He might have missed a header from the corner. He wasn't making no mistake with that one.
It's cleared to Thiago, who's got a run, and Mosquera. Thiago takes around Mosquera, one-on-one with Raya. Mosquera recovers with a sliding lunge. Is that going to be a pivotal moment in the title race? Back comes Christian Mosquera, sliding in with Thiago, the second top scorer in the league, one-on-one.
The initial part is poor from Mosquera, brilliant from Thiago. The second part is poor from Thiago and brilliant from Mosquera. I think he has to roll in Ouattara. I think you roll that to Ouattara and it's 2-1 Brentford.
It's volleyed over the top by Brentford, headed down by Thiago, lifted over the top, Igor Thiago, right-hand side of the area, volleys over the top of the crossbar. How many chances are they going to miss to put Arsenal to the sword?
And look, it's not the easiest chance in the world, but I've seen him hit some worldies, Thiago.
Lifted over the top by Gyökeres, and now Urian Timber's bursting in behind. He's got the strength to hold off Ouattara. Gabriel Martinelli, what a save by Kelleher to deny Martinelli inside the 18-yard box. Every time we look up, the ball's in the penalty area for one of these two sides. That was the story of Brentford 1, Arsenal 1 at the G-Tech. A scintillating game. We've just about had time to have a drink of water, catch our breath, and perhaps start to unpack what we have just seen. And I suppose the best way to sum it up is Arsenal as rattled as we've seen all season?
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was brilliant. There was possibly even more rattled than the game you alluded to earlier, Aston Villa away, which they lost at the death 2-1. But that was just such a good watch, and it reminded me, funnily enough, of the Conor Benn and the Chris Eubanks Jr. first fight. You want to see that again. If I got told this game was being played again tomorrow, I'd be wanting to watch it. It was brilliant, and both teams will think they had chances to win it at the end. Martinelli, a big one for Arsenal. There was a couple for Brentford, but especially the Thiago one. But a really good watch. Brentford covered themselves with a lot of credit. I said before the game, I don't think it's a nightmare point for Arsenal. I really don't. It's one of their trickier games, but that will feel bad for them. For this gap to now be down to 4 points, the fans will start to get a little bit twitchy.
Let's look at Keith Andrews then, because we didn't really get a chance to discuss him before the game, but what he is doing at Brentford cannot be understated. Time after time after time, he is met with a challenge, he answers it, and tonight was a microcosm of their season where we saw Brentford play about 3 or 4 different styles and react to the game in front of them. That surely comes down to the Irishman leading them from the bench.
Absolutely. I just think he's got a bunch of players willing to die for him, really. They cover every inch of grass. Thiago and Ouattara, honestly, Ouattara was such a handful going forward, but then he's the one in the 93rd minute running back with Timber when Arsenal were through on goal. They just do everything you'd want your team to do, and you can see the fans here applauding them. They're loving it, they're buying into it. The manager takes so much credit. Like I said before the game, I had Brentford to finish in the bottom 3 at the start of the season. They made me look a complete idiot, and fair play to them. They've been fantastic. Long may it continue.
We'll touch on Arsenal and what this means for the title race and their confidence in just a second. But last thing on Brentford, how high do you think it's fair for them to dream this year? Because Keith Andrews, of course, as a manager, talking down Europe, they've never been there. But how big do you think they could dream after what you've seen tonight?
Well, they can definitely dream of Europe for sure. They have quality in the team, but they have a team that I don't think will take anything for granted. The other week when they played Aston Villa away and they've gone down to 10 men when Kevin Schade gets sent off and they go and win 1-0. You then go away to Newcastle, it goes 2-2 in the 83rd, 84th minute. You kick on and win that. I just think that shows real spirit. Not many teams, by the way, will go and win at Aston Villa and Newcastle this season. Then you've just played Arsenal then and you had every chance of winning that. So a team full of spirit, full of energy, and yeah, they can dream of Europe for sure.
We'll talk Arsenal then. They're 4 points clear now, so in a sense it is a point gain. It takes it out of the factor of it being just a result between them and Manchester City. But I want to read out to you Manchester City's fixtures. And out of sorts, Newcastle, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, a desperately out of form Crystal Palace. Then they've got a bit of a tricky run and then back with Burnley in the Premier League. If you look at Newcastle, Leeds, Forest, West Ham, Palace, that's likely to be maximum points for City. Surely that will play on Arsenal's mind as well, with just a 4-point gap now.
Absolutely. Those 5 are must-wins for Manchester City. If they could, I don't believe Arsenal will win the next 5, by the way. They've got Tottenham away, who will have a new manager there, and if there's one game those Tottenham fans are going to be up for, it's that. I think they play Chelsea at home, Arsenal in the next 5, and only got Wolves away next. They got difficult fixtures, and pressure can be a horrible thing. So if Manchester City can get to that Arsenal game where a win takes them above Arsenal, then wow, what a game we would have on our hands.
Well, very quickly, is it title race on, Hogan, again after tonight?
Oh, absolutely. At the start of the season, I chose Manchester City, so I'm going to stick with them, but yeah, it's going to go all the way.
Well, this was the story of Brentford versus Arsenal on Premier League Live. It took till 61 minutes for us to get our first goal. Noni Madueke steering in a header from a Piero Hincapié, cross from the left-hand side. It looked from then on like Arsenal would kick on, but Brentford responded brilliantly, and 10 minutes later, a long throw was hurled into the penalty area by Michael Coyote. It was flicked on by Sepp van den Berg, and Keane Lewis Potter met it with a steaming header at the back post from the edge of the 6-yard box into the top left-hand corner to pull Brentford level. Chances came and went after that, but it would finish 1-1. From me, Matt Drabble, and Hogan Ephraim next to me, it's been a pleasure to bring this one to you. It's goodbye and good night from us.